This puzzle is called Under Pressure by Analytical Ninja. I got it from the Sudoku Testing Submissions channel of the CTC Community Discord. Let's take a look at the rules. So it's 9 by 9, obviously. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits can't repeat in cages, so these two digits, for example, could not be the same digit because they're in the same cage here. Or this digit and either one of these digits. I don't think that one needs that much explanation. All cages are aquariums. Cells within aquariums are either air cells or water cells, with cells outside of cages not being either. Okay. So inside of a cell, or inside of a cage, there's air and water. Sure. Where was I? Cells fill from the bottom, water cells fill the bottom of cages and must have digits greater than all the air cells in their cages. Okay. So some amount of these will be water, let's say this much, and some amount will be air, let's say this much, and these digits will be all greater than these two digits. Okay? Rows and cages must be either all air or all water cells. So you can't do something like this. Both of these cells have to be the same waterness or airness, I guess. Either both air or both water. Cages in... Oh, I just read that one, yeah. Cages must have at least one row of air and one row of water. So you can't have... I'm using yellow for air here. And so we couldn't have all air. We need at least a little bit of water in our aquarium. And similarly, we need at least a little bit of air in our aquarium. So we can't do like a full water either. Okay. Additionally, the cages are pressurized. The air cells within any cage must have a higher average value than the number of rows above the cage in the grid. For example, the air cells in a cage in rows 7 and 8, I don't see that there's, I guess this one works. So above this one, example, the air cells in this cage must have an average value greater than 6. So because there are 6 rows above this pink cage, whatever air cells we choose, let's say we chose those, then all of the air cells would have to have 6, the average of the air cells would have to be 6 or greater. So we could have like a lower number than 6, but overall the average would have to be higher than 6, which is going to be tricky for the lower digit, or for these lower cages. Yeah. I think that's it. These rules do sound a little confusing, I'll definitely grant you that, but I did just do the 6x6 pressure puzzle. It was like yesterday or the day before. I posted that. If you want an example of an easier version of this, or a more simple version of this, because it's only 6x6, go check out that puzzle. And you can also see my solve it if you want to. But I will put a link to in the description to this puzzle if you want to give a try on this. And I'll probably put a link to the pressure 6x6 puzzle as well. But yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I think you should do, or the first thing I'm going to do at least, is color the tops of all the cages, because all the cages have at least one row of air. So that's the easiest bit, and then also one row of water. So let's make sure we get that in. Okay, I think that's all. I think that's all of them. So I guess we know exactly we know the distribution. So let's start here, because here it is a bit more restricted with the pressure, but we don't know what this cell is, if it's air or water. So let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 3. There's 5 rows above it, so these have to average 5, but also be less than this cell. So if this was a 9, for example, this could be, I guess they could both be digits greater than 5. That would be easy. Or they could be 4 and 8. Actually, 3 and 8 also works. They could all, yeah, it could all be all the way down to 3 and 8. And that would put a 9 there. Okay, maybe that's not the right place to look. I figured that would be more restricted. Let's take a look here. So we have 6, so this has to average at least 6. Sorry, it has to average greater than 6. A higher average value, so it could be like 6.1 or something like that, but it has to be greater than 6. So if just these two are, if just these two are the air cells, then what's the lowest digit we could have? We could have an, oh, I guess this is going to be rough. This is actually going to be more rough than I realized. Because if this cell is water, that means that we have to have 2 cells greater than both air cells. So if this is water, both of these cells have to be greater than both of these cells. So that means even if we did 8 and 9, the smallest we could do is like 6 and 7 here, because 5 and 7 average to 6, which has to be greater than 6. So that's not going to work. But if we did make this air, we have a little bit more leeway, I think, because we could do like 8, 7, and 5. What is 8, 7, and 5? That would be 20 divided by 3. 8, 7, and 4. How about that? 8, 7, 4 would be 19. Yeah, that would work, because 8, 7, and 3 would be 18 divided by 3 would be exactly 6. So you could do 8, 7, and 4 like this. But then that would put this as 9. So this is all, I think this is always 8 or 9. If we made this water, this could be an 8, 9 pair. If we made it air, this has to be 9. Because I think 7 and 8 both have to be used. Which I guess puts 7... Maybe that's the way to think about this. Is it possible that we don't have 7, 8, and 9 in here? I know we must have 9. Do we have to have 8? If we put, let's say, 9 here, 7, 6, 5 would average to exactly 6. So I don't think that works. I think we have to have 9 in here. It would have to be in one of these two cells, and 8 has to be in one of... I guess it doesn't matter. It could be anywhere. If this is there, 8 could go anywhere. And if it's water, it could go down here as well. Okay, but what about 7? I don't think we necessarily have to have 7. If this was... Let's just get rid of those for a second. If this is 5, 6, 8, and this is 9, that would work for the, like, water being greater than air. And this also adds up to 19 divided by 3 is a little bit more than 6. So that works as well. So I don't think we have to have 7, but we do have to have 8 and 9. Whoops, wrong way. I meant to... Oh, I accidentally overdid that. That's fine. So we have an 8 and we have a 9 in here. But I think actually that is useful information, because before this was pretty unrestricted, but now this digit here can't be... Yeah, this digit can't be in 8 or 9. So these two digits have to add up to an average of greater than 5. So we could do 5 and 6 at a minimum. That would be the minimum we could do, 5 and 6. If we did 4 and 6, it'd be exactly 5. If we did, obviously, 4 and 5, it'd be less than 5. So I think the minimum we could do here is 5 and 6. Which means the minimum we could do in here is 7, right? I mean, so the maximum digit we could have in here is 7, because we can't have 8 and we can't have 9. So the absolute maximum we could have in here is 7, which means the absolute maximum digit we could have in here is a 6. And since 6 is only 1 greater than the average we're going for, we would have to go with 5 and 6, which is also the minimum that we've come up with. I think that's right. I've gone over that twice. I think that's right. 5, 6 in here, which does... Oh, I said this was air, but I don't think that's necessarily true. And I think that means we know this orientation now. What did I say this... These digits then must be, what was it? 5, 6, 8, 9. Because, yeah, if we tried to make this 8, 9, this would be 5, 6, and then that would average to 5.5, and it needs to average over 6, so we have to include the 8. And then 9 has to be greater... Yeah, this still has to be greater than the 8. So this is a 9 then. I think that's right. Okay. But now where can we go next? Maybe... I'm not sure if we should go to the left, because we know the 9 is not in the bottom row. Or if we should go up, because we have all these digits here. Maybe let's take a look at this. I don't know if this is... yeah, because we don't have the pressurized forcing the digits to be larger. But we have more digits, just known digits because of this stuff over on this side. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this again, pink has... Sorry, pink. Where did that come from? Air, aka yellow, has to add up to, or average 5, or sorry, greater than 5. But it could be like 5.5 or something. So we have... So we have 5. If we just had this as... Okay, so what could this be the only air cell? If we made this is the only air cell, this would have to be at least 6 in order to average 6 or greater. Sorry, in order to average 5, greater than 5. This has to be greater than 5. So if this was the only air cell, this was all water, this would have to be a 6 minimum. But then 7, 8, 9, we don't have enough digits down here to make greater than 6. So we have at least one, or so we have at least 2 air cells. So now we could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that would work. But I think we could also do, like, this could be air or water. I don't think we necessarily know. Oh! Okay, maybe this is where this 9 comes into play. Because we couldn't have this be 5, 6, 7, 8 as a big ol' air blob, and then just a little bit down here, which is the 9. Because we obviously we already have the 9 in the row. But could this... Could this be like 4, 5, 6, 7, and then if an 8? 4, 5, 6, 7, what does that add up to? 4, 5 is 9, 6, 7, that'd be 22 divided by 4 is greater than 5. Um, because this cell actually can't be a 5 or a 6, so that is a bit restricted as well. But it could be lower than 5 or 6 or greater than 5 or 6, I think. Because I think this could be a 7 and then have this end up being an 8. Okay, oh no, that doesn't help. I was gonna say, the 9 in box 7 must be inside of a cage. Because it can't be in the uncaged cells down here. Should we color the uncaged cells, maybe? Would that help at all? I don't know, it might just add to the complexity of the coloring. And at least for me, having too complex of colors does negatively affect me, but... Let's try this for right now. We can always erase those, I suppose. So, yeah, down in box 7, 9 is going to end up in one of the boxes. Which means, yeah, it can't be in the green because it's ruled out of there by this 9. So, or it's going to end up in one of the cages. So it must be in the water of one of these cages, but it could end up in here, or it could end up in here. Hmm. Okay, so what if this was... What if we tried to do it like this? We would need this to add up to over 5, or add up to an average of over 5. And this can't be a 5 or a 6, and we couldn't use a 7 in here. How would this work, even? We couldn't use a 7 in here because we need at least 3 digits greater than it, so if we use a 6... Sorry, so if we use a 7, then we can't do 8, 9, and 10. That wouldn't work, so we couldn't use even a 7 in here, because we need 3 greater digits. So it would be 6 and 4, because we couldn't use 5 here. We could do a 6 here, so then have this be 7, 8, 9. This would have a maximum of 4. 6 plus 4 is only 10, divided by 2 is exactly 5, not greater than 5. So I don't think we can actually have both of these be water. I think these both have to be air. And then this can't be a 9, so this is going to come back down to the... this is going to be a maximum of 8. Which means we can use a 7 in here. So it could be, what did I say before? 4, 5, 6, 7? But I think also it could be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll be 21. Yeah, it could be 3, 5, 6, 7. But we couldn't lower it again. 3, 4. Yeah, that would be 20 exactly. So I think this has 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this has 5, 6, 7. This can't go any lower because we need these many big digits. We couldn't get rid of the 7 from this, I don't think. And this can't be a 5 or a 6, and this can't be a 7. Hmm. We are getting some information, but it does not seem like that much information. I'm getting a little worried. Okay. Like, how are we gonna resolve everything? Like, is there something I'm just not realizing about these cages? I don't think we can figure out the orientation of the specific cells in here or in here, but yeah, I don't know. So what about here? The yellow needs to average, uh, greater than 4. So this could be at a minimum 4, 5. But this could be a 9, and so this could be way higher than that. Or 5, this one couldn't be a 5 because of this, but this could be 7 and 6, or 6 and 7, I guess. And then have a 9 here, and that would be fine. So what about this? Let's look at this one. Yellow needs to average greater than 3. But again, it could have a 9, and it could be like 9 or 7 here and then 9 here. And then have, kind of whatever low digits we want, because we could get the average above 3 pretty easily, I feel like. Okay, what about this one? This can't have an 8 or a 9 down here. Which means, okay, I think this is where we need to look at. Yeah, I think this is where we need to look. So this yellow needs to average greater than 4. The maximum digits for down here are 6 and 7. Because we can't use a 9, we can't use an 8. But they could show up here. But all water cells have to be greater than all air cells. So we couldn't have, the maximum air cell we can now have is 5. And we need to have an average greater than, what did I say, 4? So 4 and 5 is, we could either have just 5, or we could have 4 and 5. But I think that's it. We couldn't put a 3 in there because that would bring down the average too much. Because 4 and 5 average 4.5. And this, This is the only possible. This has to be a 5 because this can't be a 5, yeah. Excuse me, my voice keeps, like, I don't know, giving out or something. So this is either 5, 4, or just 5. Because we couldn't do just 4, because just 4 averages to, obviously, exactly 4, and we need it to be greater than 4. So I think this is always a 5. Oh, okay, okay, so this is always a 5, and we need 6, 7, then we can put 8, 9 here as water. But how do we fill this cell? There are no other cells that are greater than 5, so this can't be a, this can't be water because there are no more cells greater than 5. So it must be air, and we can't do anything besides 4 because it'll bring down the average too much if we do anything less. So it must be 4. Okay, which means this can't be 4. And puts a 5 along here? If we could force that into one of these water column or water cells, that would be hugely helpful. But I don't see how we could just rule out of here. Hmm. I'm just making sure there aren't any. Okay, here's something. So, it might be easier for you to remove the colors for a moment. In this section, in this section, in pink and green, we've both kind of reserved a 5, so to speak. We have to put a 5 in here, we have to put a 5 in here. In each row, column, and 3x3 box of the grid, we only are allowed 1 of each digit, of course, because that's how Sudoku works. So in this row that I've selected, we get 1 5, and in the row below it, we get another 1 5. So in this full selected area, we get 2 5s. That's all we get. Well, we need 1 for pink and we need 1 for green. That means we can't have any other 5s in this selected area. All this gray space can't have any more 5s. Which means where we put 5 in box 8 must go here. But let me actually undo to get my colors back, and then I'll put the 5 in. Yeah. If we tried putting another 5 up here, let's say we tried to put a 5 here, then this couldn't be a 5, and one of these would be a 5. But then, because of this 5, none of these could be 5, and because of this 5, this can't be a 5, and then suddenly this box is broken because we said we had to have a 5. We can't put a 5 in there. So this is a 5, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that gives us a quadruple right here. So these can't be 3 or 4, and these two must be 8 and 9, which makes it like this. Oh, and we use an 8 right here, so this is not an 8. One of these is a 7, which means this is a 3, which means that's not a 4. Maybe we're figuring this out better than I thought. Oh, okay, so blue can never be a 1, because obviously there's no digits that 1 is greater than. It could be a 2. This could be like 1, 2, and then whatever digit here at once. Although, and then like 1, 2, 9. 1 plus 9 is. Oh, no. Now I'm confusing myself. Okay, well, let's think about that in a second. Oh no, this could be air, so it could be a 1. These are nothing, so these could be whatever digits they want to be. One of these is an 8, yeah, we kind of realized that. Don't need to mark that 7 anymore, I don't think. This can't be a 3 because of this 3. Okay, I think we do need to look here. So this needs to average at least. Did I break the puzzle, actually? That's going to be my question. This needs to average 4, and I've broken the puzzle, I think. I know in the last video I said I broke the puzzle multiple times when I didn't actually, but even if we make this a 4, this is a maximum of 1 and 2. It has to be less than 4, but not a 3. Which makes this add up to 3, which breaks the puzzle. I feel like I broke the puzzle. Let me ask the setter about this. Okay, I talked to Analytical Ninja, and I guess I just made the mistake. So let me back up, just a little bit. So I placed these 1, 2, 3, 4s. I now have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. This can't be 3 or 4. Why did I say this has to be a 9? I think I made this into a triple, which then meant this had to be a pair. But this is not a triple. This is just a 5, whoops, a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It can't be an 8, and it can't be a 5 or a 6. So I think it's just a 7 or a 9. I think that's what I did wrong. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what happened, is that I said this was more restricted than it was. So I think this is a 7 or a 9. This is also a 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we reduce any more down here? Okay, well, I guess we can do one thing that we kind of know must be true. I'm thinking about how to go about this. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to respond to a message from Analytical Ninja. Okay, so let's see what the best way to go about this is. Um, we know we need 4 digits that are 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this box. We have 4 digits. We need each of them in the box, of course. So these 4 can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know these 2 are. So we need 2 of these to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we can rule out any one of them, then it's not. Then the other 2 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So could this be a 1, 2, 3, or 4? Now, obviously, we kind of got a hint by the fact that we broke the puzzle by doing this a second ago, but use what you know. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, or 4, then that digit is going to be, how is the best way to go about saying this? So this cage, the errors must average to greater than 4, which means it's going to need a digit greater than 4 in there, because that's how averages work. But if we try to make this a 1, 2, 3, or 4, then that means none of these air cells could be greater than 4, or even greater than 3, which obviously is going to mean the average isn't possible. So this, even if this is a 4 in the 1, 2, 3, 4, we couldn't make this work if we put this here. This breaks the puzzle. So this can't be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which makes this a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and this a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which is going to make this a 7, because this must be, we needed a 7 in here, and it can't be, we can't have a 3 and a 4. We only get one or the other, and it's going there. So we have a 5, 6, that puts an 8 there. Then 9, 8. Then we have 1, 2, 3. What's the last digit? Oh, I think it's 9. And then this is 7. Oh, we have yeah, 7 here. This must be the 7, yeah. Oh, we put the 9 here. Why? I don't know why that was confusing to me. So this is the 9, so we can basically do whatever we want in here now. So that's less restricted. What about this cage? Now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. This must be, so this has to average greater than 3. So we can have at most a 6. If we did 6, 5, 4, 3, now that would be much greater than that. We could go all the way down to 1. But I don't think we couldn't have this. This must be an air cell, right? Because even if we made this a water cell, even if we put a 4, we couldn't, the highest digit we could put in the air cell would be 3 itself, and we need the average to be greater than 3. So this must be an air cell, which makes both of those air cells as well. Okay, well, I guess we know this is pretty restricted. This could be 1, 2, 3, can't be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or, okay. It's even more restricted than I thought. For some reason, I thought there was another high digit it could be. But it's very restricted. So this must be an air cell. 1, 2, or 3 must be an air cell. Because if we made this a 3, then this would have to be we made this a water, even as the 3, this would be a 2, and this has to be average greater than 4. So that's not going to work. So this must be air cell. Now we need to average greater than 4, which means these two digits need to add up to at least 9. So 1 would need 8 or 9, it can't be. We need a 6 or a 7. Actually, we can't have a 7 in here, so this is a 6. And this is a 3. This is the only way to get greater than 9. Sorry, greater than 8, which would be 9. So this is 9 divided by 2 would be 4.5, which works. This is now a 5. This is now a 6. Okay. What's left in this column? There's 1, 2, 4, 7, and this can't be a 7. So we have a 7 up here, which means... Okay, so 7 can't be an air cell. If 7 is an air cell, that means that the water cells all have to be greater than it, but we have 1, 2, or 4 currently as a water cell. So this can't be a 7. This can never be a 1, because 1 is never greater than any other digit, so it can't be a water cell at all. It also can't be a 2. Wait, no, it could be a 2. This could be a 2 if all of this was water, and this was a 1, then this could be a 2. Okay, so I think this could be a 2. Could this be a 7? Or can we force the 7 down here? I think this could be, in that case we literally just looked at, these couldn't be 1 or 2. This could be a 7 and a 4. And this would work. Unfortunately, we have no pressure in the top row because it just has to have an average greater than 0, and that's literally accomplished by making any digit, any positive digit is going to accomplish that. So we get a little bit of information there, but not a whole lot. Okay. 6 must go over here. I don't think that's... 5 must be in one of these two. Okay, where can... Okay, yeah, where can 8 and 9 go in box 4? These 3 cells must be less than 7. Yeah, these 3 cells must be less than 7. And 1, 2, 4, 5 are the options that are left. In this box, I mean. Because it must be less than 7, and it obviously can't repeat. So these two digits have to be 8 and 9. Those are the only two spots that can be 8 and 9, which puts 8 and 9 over here. This can't be a 9 because 9 can never be an air cell because there aren't any water cells that can be filled then. But this could be an 8 if this was all air and then this would be a 9. That would work just fine. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is that all the digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I think it is. So that would make this not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also not 7, actually. So this is 6, 8, 9. Still, this can't be 9. Oh, we now have a 6, 8, 9 triple in the cage. So if we made this an 8, this would all be air. And this would be a 9. If we made this a 6, this could be air or water because we could do... No. We can't have a 7 in here as well because 7's in the columns already. So if we made this a 6, I think this still has to be all air. Because we couldn't do 3 digits greater than 6. So this is 6 or an 8, both of these are air, so I think they're just both air. And that means this can't be a 9, which makes this a 9, and this a 9, and this an 8. And this can be basically any digit, I believe. Yeah, because, like, Again, it has to have an average greater than 1. Okay, well, we have 14 so far. As long as this digit isn't like negative 15 or negative 14 itself, we're good. Or I guess negative 13 maybe would be a problem, or something like that. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, so where can we put a 1 in this column? One of these is a 1. We figured that out. So these can't be 1, which means this must be 1, which is going to remove 1 from there, put a 1 in there, remove 1 from there, and there. So we did restrict that a bit. Okay. Okay, so this is like 2, 4, 5. What am I missing? Oh, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 2. Wait, am I missing something here? Oh, okay, so yeah, I'm missing some. One of these two is a 2, which means none of these are a 2. Which means this is a 1, 4, 5 triple. Which means this is a 2, and these are not 2. Which makes this 2, 3, 5. Yeah, okay, I was wondering how we didn't have any digits of leeway on this side. Oh, which makes this a 4. Oh, I guess we could have said by this, these can't be 4 because of this triple. Yeah, there was just some basic Sudoku that was causing some confusion for me. Okay. So we know, oh, neither of these can be 4 now, which means one of these is a 4, which means these aren't 4, which means one of these is a 4. And one of these are 1, I said that already. Although I don't, whatever. I'll leave it marked. Okay, this can't be a 4, this can't be a 5. I guess I never removed those. Oh, this can't be a 5 either, so this is 1, 4, 5 like this. I said that much, much earlier that this was 5. Is there, maybe this is now restricted? This has to average to greater than 3, which means it needs to add up to, because there are 4 air cells, average of 3 would be 12. It has to be greater than 12, so 13. So this is 10, this must be a 3. Let me just double check that. Now that I just did a bunch of Sudoku based off of that. This is 4, 8, 13. 13 divided by 4 is a little bit more than 3. It needs to have a pressure of higher than 3. I think that's right. Okay. But this is basically whatever it wants to be, I think. So what about this cell? We have an 8 and 9 looking in. I think this must be a 2 almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is literally just a 2. Whoa. Okay, so one of these is a 2. This can't be a 2. If this was a 2, we would need 2 digits at least less than 2, and there aren't 2 digits less than 2, so this is the 2. Now what's here is just 8, 9? Okay, what about... Well, yeah, let's just look at what's left in this row. We need a 1, which actually can never go in the water cells, so this is the 1. 3, 9, and 7? This can't be a 9. Huh. That puts a 3 into one of the water cells. Which is obviously a very low digit, and it must have at least, whichever cage it's in must have at least 2 air cells. So it's either 3 with 1 and 2 here, which actually doesn't work because we have 1 and 2 looking up, so this can't be a 3. So one of these is a 3, which makes both of these 1, 2, and all of these water. Because we can't have any other digits that are less than 3 in here. So one of these are a 3. That's cool. Yeah, would not. I definitely was like, oh no, I broke the puzzle, but no, it does work. We can have 1 and 2 like that. Oh, and this can't be a 9 because of the 8, 9 pair. So this is just a 7, 3, 9. Okay. What's left in this box is 4, 7, 8. This can't be a 7. This can't be an 8. This digit just needs to be greater than 2, and it literally can't be 1 or 2 because of this pair, so this can be whatever it wants to be. Oh, we have a 2 right there, actually. In fact, this column is 4, 5, 6, 7 left over, and this can't be a 7 because then this would be a 4. But this could be whatever it wants to be, just about. I mean, it would force this cell to be a 7, but it could be whatever the other digits it wants to be. If this is a 4, this would have to be a 3. I think that's possible. No, that's not possible. Okay. So if this cell was a 4, because it is a water cell, it must be greater than this cell. It means this cell would need to be a 1, 2, or 3. It can't be a 1 or a 2. So could this cell be a 3? Well, if we look down, this cell becomes a 3 because of this 4, so these would have 2 3s in the column. So we can't have this be a 4, this must be an 8. Let's look at this row. We need a 1, a 3, and a 6. This can't be a 1, well, for multiple reasons, but there's literally a 1 looking up, so that's the easy reason. We have no 3s or 6s looking up, I don't see. Okay. Oh, we have this 1 here. This is a 2, 1. We have a 5, 6 pair here, so this is a 3, 4, 7, 8. With an 8 guaranteed in one of these two cells. Doesn't help all that much. Okay, what about, I must be this cage right here to resolve everything. Yeah, I'm not sure how this one, because this could just be kind of whatever. Actually, this can't be a 3, that's another thing. This can't be a 3. Because if this is a 3, no, then I broke the puzzle again. No, this could be air. Okay, never mind. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. So this is a 3, then what's going to go in the cell? It needs to be less than 3, but it can't be a 1 or a 2. Obviously, that's impossible. So this is a 6. Which somehow doesn't resolve anything. Now we have a 1 and a 3 in here, which means these both must be air, because 1 is always air. But this needs to average greater than 2, so these 2 digits must be, that's going to be simple to do. Yeah, that's going to be pretty easy to do, actually. But maybe there's some Sudoku we can do to help reduce some possibilities. Or maybe this isn't as easy as I thought it would be. So let's look at this column. We need a 1, 3, 6, and 7. This can't be a 1 or 3 because digits can't repeat in a cage. It also can't be a 7 because we have a 7 as the water cell, so it has to be less than 7. Or I guess I could say it can't repeat in the cage for that as well. Oh, I forgot a digit. What did I forget? 1 second, back up. There's some digit I didn't put in here. 2. Okay. So let's go through this again. This can't be 1, 3, or 7 because it's already in the cage. This is a 6, this is a 7, neither of these can be 7, actually. Okay, this can't be a 1 or a 2. Okay. So, if we make this a 2, that's 6, and with an average of 2, so any digit here is going to be fine. If we make, yeah, I think any 2 digits are going to work just fine in here. So I think it is just probably basic Sudoku. Oh, no! We did end up with a 2 over here, which was sad. Okay. So I said earlier, I don't remember when I got this 2. When did I get this 2 over here? Did I mess up, or did this actually become a 2 naturally? Oh, it became a 2 naturally when I got this 1, 4, 5. Okay, let's go back forward. Sorry. When this became a 1, 4, 5 triple, this became a 2. Which I could have worked on right then, but I didn't think about it. Okay, I'm back to where I am. When this became a 2, that means water has to be greater than every air cell. So if I try to make this a 4, obviously 4 is greater than 2, so that doesn't work. So this becomes a 1. And this all has to be water. Because we can't put any other cells that are less than 2 in there. Like, there are no other cells, I mean. Okay. So that's a 1, which means this is not a 1, which makes this a 1. Now we need a 1 in box 2, and it can't go up here. Whoops, can't go here or in the cage, so it must go here. This 3 is going to make this arranged. Okay, I think that's good for the moment. So we need one of these is going to be a 9, because that's just how Sudoku works. One of these is going to be a 9. We can't put a 9 in the air, so this must be a 9, and it must be water. Which puts a 9 in one of these two cells, which we don't know yet, but we've at least figured one digit out. This can be any digit, and it works, because 8 and 9, I guess any digit that fits in there. 3, 4, 5, or 6. All of those are going to satisfy the pressurized and the air-water balancing act. Okay, what about these two? 8, 9, and 5, 5, 8, 9. This can't be a 9. But one of these is a 5 for sure. Let's get rid of those 9s for a second. What about here? We need an 8 or a 9. We need a 4 and a 7. This can't be 7, 8, or 9 because it must be less than 7. So this is just a 4. This is a 7. This is a 4. Not 4 or 7. This can't be a 4 either, which means this cannot... Wait, could this have ever been a 4? No, I'm thinking, I don't know if this could have ever been a 4. Maybe there was one case and I removed it and didn't think about it. Silly me. Okay, so that makes this an 8. This is a 6 then. Which is going to do a lot of nice Sudoku, it looks like. This can't be 4 or 5. Are we no, we're not restricted there at all. This can't be a 2. What am I missing? Oh, this 5 right here is going to finally figure out these 5s and 6s. This is a gimme. This is just a 7. This can't be. This is a 4, yeah. Okay, so what are we missing here? We have 3 6s looking in. Oh no, what am I missing? This average needs to be greater than a 1, but that works. But now I don't see... Did I miss... I might have messed something up, I'm not sure. Or maybe this just doesn't have a solution. I don't see... Oh, I'm an idiot. That's what it is. That's what it is. There's a 6 right here, which comes over and makes this not a 6. There we go. That was tough, and I definitely screwed up once. But we got there. That's the important thing. Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, obviously I don't have like any experience with this rule set, but that was tough. Figuring out where to look and how to look. Yeah, that was not an easy puzzle to begin with. Like the 6x6 puzzle was pretty easy. This was pulling no punches while also being its own new thing. That was... We got there. I'm so happy we got there. That was a good puzzle. But I'm very happy I successfully finished that. Especially early on when I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm doing it right because we have all these options everywhere. But eventually, figured it all out. That was great. Thank you very much, Analytical Ninja. That was great. And yeah, thank you all for watching.